Good morning, this is a recap video of today's session, October 15th, 2025. Early morning, I spotted this green horizontal support level, and I was willing to take a trade if price came down to that level. So I initially spotted this yellow selling channel. It wasn't strong, and I knew that there was going to be other channels involved. And from that wick, that created a teal tapering channel. So that further supported my bias of going long. And now I wait for the retrace, and I enter my first trade right there with teal, yellow, and green as support. Early trades, you have to take profit pretty quick because NQ likes to dance around like this. From here, I noticed that the price action was kind of weird. It was making big moves going down and then going up, so I stayed out of this. I just focused on making sure I got the algos correct. And I was preparing for my next trade as I spotted the blue tapering channel for the bears. I went short up here. I made the same mistake I made yesterday of shorting in the strong buying channel, right? So a green buying channel is a strong money maker channel. And I went short up there. I still went short on resistance, but I just got squeezed. Yesterday, this happened to me and I blew my account. I was pretty emotional yesterday. That's why I blew my account, but I realized right here that it was repeating the same thing that happened to me yesterday. So I was making the same mistake. So once I was aware of that, from this point, it was just about trade management. Right? What was I willing to lose? I looked to the left and I spotted a stronger resistance level, and so I waited for that. You'll see here shortly, if I go left right here, you'll see that there's a stronger support resistance level to the left, and I drew that line right there. So as price approached that red line, that's when I cleaned up the trade. I didn't care to look at the profits. I was deep in drawdown. I understood that. This account was a cheap account, so I was okay with losing it as well. But as we spiked up, I cleaned the trade up and I got lucky and I came out green. Came out with about $300 some in profit, right? And so from there, I was kind of emotional, so I just erased everything and redrew it. I tend to do this a lot, guys. Like once my chart gets filled up with these lines, my eyes I can't really focus, so I have to erase everything and redraw them, even if they're the same channels. It helps me a lot. You see, by doing that, I saw the potential for the inverse head and shoulder. I saw these clear channels, teal and white. And I changed them to yellow and teal, but eventually at this spot, I knew that we were just going to chop, right? People were going to chase longs because they missed that initial move, and people that were in shorts were hoping that price was going to dip down. So I didn't take any trades. From here, I wait until price comes down to that green arrow, which was a good support level, in order for me to go long. And now that I spotted that blue channel for the bears, it gave me more confidence that we were going long. Right? We completed that small cup, and now we were forming the handle. And I was only going to take a trade if price came down to my support levels, which was yellow, teal, orange, and blue. Right there. I took that trade. It was a quick scalp. You know, you just get in and get out. And from here, I still like this level. So I took another trade right there in a different account. Wait, no, this was the same account. And I was waiting, or I was actually hoping that we were going to activate the green buying channel. And I was willing to position myself to be in it if that happened. But we just chopped right here. I still like this bias of going long because of the cup completion with the handle. Right, and as you spiked up, I passed its eval account and closed a trade, and I moved on to the next account. This trade, okay, I went long here because we broke yellow, and I went long on the retracement, but it was a fake breakout. And guys, this is why I don't like taking breakout trades, because this tends to always happen to me. It looks like it's shooting up, it breaks through the resistance levels, comes back down, and I enter, right, just for price to take one or two more legs down. And from here, I analyzed the charts and I realized we were at a lot of key support levels, so I was willing to hold on to the trade and clean it up, right? That green arrow was a strong support level with teal, yellow, blue, and orange. So if price came down to that green arrow, I was going to add. That was my thought process. Looking back, I should have stayed out of this because we were just really chopping. This was just liquidity building. You see, there was really no head in the inverse head and shoulders. This was just all the left shoulder creation, just like that. And so, for me, I don't really use stop losses, guys, just because these accounts are cheap. Most of the time, I'm able to clean up the trade because I'm able to spot out these key support levels. And when price comes down to that level, I'll add in heavy and clean it up and move on. I don't recommend doing this, right? A lot of people, it gets very emotional. When you're in the moment, it gets very emotional. I think over the years, I've just did it so many times to where it just doesn't affect me anymore, right? Because I trust in my levels, I trust in my algos. Right there, that's where I added in heavy as we dip down to that green arrow. And on this trade, I think I made about $900. Right? I'm just going for that small pop, just that small pop, and I'm good. So from here, I took a break. You know, I was a bit too emotional. I saw this, forming the inverse head and shoulders, and we were really just chopping at this level. I was expecting one more leg down. If the bulls really wanted this, I think they would have taken a leg down before going up. So again, I was out of a trade right here. My bias worked out. It was just too choppy. I didn't want to hold. After that little sweep up, the bears came in and took over. This was crazy. Luckily, I wasn't in any trade right here. I just observed. It was too much for me, so I had to redraw the algos again. And typically, what I learned that works for me the most is when price liquidates like this, I erase everything and I just go back to the basics, support and resistance, right? Look at how we broke green support and now we made it resistance. Early morning from my arrows right there on the left side, we had an easy way going up, and now we're going down. NQ kind of likes to do this sometimes. In the morning, if it goes up if it shoots up 300, 400, 500 points, typically after that, it's going to come down just the same amount of points, right? So my next trade, I was waiting for that, for price to come down to that white circle, that green horizontal line. I took my last trade right there as support, right there. I went into drawdown a bit, but I was pretty confident that we were going to retrace, right? As we spiked up right here, I took profits right there, and I called it a day. Good session today, guys.